Hold on, folks. I have to lower it down. I gotta speed it up a little bit, man. I gotta do it just for that. I'm about to do a little intermission. I'm gonna eat this croissant. Mm. I haven't eaten anything else since I was on the road yesterday. Mm. 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 I mean, it's a sausage croissant, which, you know what I mean? It's from Jimmy Dean. It's from Jimmy Dean. Mm. Jimmy Dean might have a bunch of shit that's coming out. Might come out with breakfast lovers. Mm. Mm. Now lunchtime's over for me. Lunchtime's over for me. Let me take you to the early life of Anna Mae Bullock, who's also known as Tina Turner. There's a picture of her in the 80s where she started performing. Let's go to the early life of Tina Turner for a minute. Tina Turner, Martha Nell Tina Turner, was born as Anna Mae Bullock on November 26, 1939, in Brownsville, Tennessee, USA, the youngest daughter of Floyd Richard Bullock and his wife, who had to be her mom, Zelma Priscilla Curry. The family lived in the nearby rural incorporated community, the unincorporated community of Nutbush, Tennessee, where Floyd, her father, worked as an overseer of the sharecroppers. Let me explain to you. Joseph Henderson used to be a tobacco sharecropper. You know what I mean? Who had to be the father of the late Florence Agnes Henderson. Right? I explained that to y'all and to you viewers previous Friday on the live show based on Florence Henderson. Her daddy used to be a sharecropper, sharecropping the tobacco. But Floyd Richard Bullock was working as an overseer of the sharecroppers. Know why the family had lived in a nearby rural incorporated community of the city you called Nutbush in the state of Tennessee, USA. This is where her father worked as an overseer of the sharecroppers. It was at a Poindexter farm on the Highway 180. She later recalled picking cotton with her family at an early age, where she participated in the PBS series, the public broadcasting system series. I think PBS, that was public broadcasting service series is called African American Lives 2, with a guy who goes by the name of Henry Louis Gates Jr., who happens to be an American literary critic, professor, historian, and a filmmaker. He shared her what's the word is genealogical DNA test. It estimates and tracing was traced her family timeline. Previously, she believed she had a significant amount of Native American ancestry. Bullock had two older sisters, Evelyn Juanita Curry, you know, and Ruby Aline Bullock, a songwriter. She was a first cousin, once removed of the blues man who goes by the name of Eugene Bridges. Eugene Bridges. Usually credited as Eugene Hideaway Bridges, who was an American blues and soul singer and songwriter and guitarist and a band leader who had released 7 albums and has performed widely in the United States, Asia, Europe, Australia included, and New Zealand, to name a few. Yeah, Ruby Aline. Let me show you. Ruby Aline Bullock. Yeah, that's the name. Ruby Aline Bullock, who was like an American songwriter. Who she was the older full sister of Tina Turner. Uh, the singer. I mean, Bullock once served as the manager of the girl group. A girl group is called the Ikettes. That was put together for Ike and Tina Turner. That was the review. That was their review. You know what I mean? But Ruby had wrote some songs for Ike and Tina, for her sister Tina Turner, born Anna Bullock, and former brother-in-law Ike, who have later passed away. Former brother-in-law Ike Turner, who later died, as well as their band, the Kings of Rhythm, including something like this and all the songs that's been out. Uh, you know, well, her sister was a songwriter, even though she was like the first cousin who was once removed of the blues man by the name of Eugene Bridges. Eugene Bridges. They call him the Hideaway. So, as the young children, the three sisters were separated. They were separated when their parents relocated to Knoxville, Tennessee. That was 3 miles away from Nutbush, to work at a defense facility during the era of World War II. Bullock went to stay with her strict religious paternal grandparents. There goes by the name of Alexander and Roxana Bullock. These are two right there. Alexander Bullock and Roxana Bullock. These are her strict religious paternal grandmother and grandfather. I think it's her strict religious paternal grandfather and grandmother. Well, these two, I mean, her grandparents, they worked together. You know what I mean? As the deacon and the deaconess. You know, that's who they were. I mean, that was at a church. It was in Tennessee. It's called the Woodlawn. It was the Woodlawn Missionary Baptist Church that was located in Nutbush. But this was after the World War saga, the World War II era. The sisters reunited with their parents, and they moved with them to Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, to Knoxville, Tennessee. That was a few miles away from Nutbush. But 2 years later, the family had returned to Nutbush to live with the Flag Grove community where Bullock attended uh, an elementary school named after the town, Flag Grove Elementary School, from first through eighth grade. As a young girl, Bullock kept sang in the church choir that was at a Baptist church. It was called Nutbush's. It's called Spring Hill Baptist Church. That was located in Nutbush, Tennessee. That's where she was born in. Back in 1950, she was like 11 years old. Her mother, Zelma left without the warning, seeking the freedom from her abusive relationship with her father, Floyd. By relocating to St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri. It was 2 years after her mother left the family. Her father married another woman. Well, her father cheated on her mother. You know what I mean? With another woman that he later married, and then moved to Detroit. But Bullock and her sisters were sent were sent to live with their maternal grandmother, who goes by the name of Georgiana Curry. That was on her mother's side of the family. Also, her mother's side of the family. That was in Brownsville. That was in Brownsville, Tennessee. But she was born there. But she ends up, you know, let me see. We go find out. I gotta find out I gotta find out that she was from Brownsville. Oh, she was born in Brownsville, but she's not even from Nutbush. She was from Brownsville. I'll explain this to y'all in this minute. In this show here. Anna Mae Bullock. Anna Mae Bullock has stated this in her autobiography. It's called Tina. Tina. That she felt that her parents did not love her the way they did, and that she was not wanted. Zelma, her mom had planned to leave her dad Floyd. Zelma planned to leave Floyd, but stayed by once that she became pregnant. But she became pregnant that she once did. Tina Turner, whose real name was Anna Bullock, started saying and recalling that, oh, she was a very young woman who didn't want another kid. So as a teenager, Bullock started working. Well, she worked as a domestic worker of else for a family that was known as the Henderson family. The Henderson family. She was the domestic worker for them. Uh, she started working as a domestic worker that was for a family that was in Ripley, Tennessee. Is called the Henderson family. Hendersons. The Henderson family, bro. When she was there at the house, the Henderson house, when she started noticing that her half sister Evelyn, uh that was from another marriage. Uh, I did not know she had a half sister. This is what happens when let me explain. Bullock was at the Henderson house when she was notified that Evelyn, who was her half sister, died in a car crash alongside uh her cousins Margaret and what was it Vella Evans, a self-professed tomboy. Bullock Bullock joined the both the cheerleading squad and the female basketball team at a local Carver High School in Brownsville, where she was born in, and socialized. What was she saying? Socializing like every chance that she was getting now, like well she got back in the day, 1950s. Uh, yeah, Yeah, she joined. She joined both the cheerleading squad, and the female basketball team that was at the local Carver High School that was in Brownsville, Tennessee. And she started socialized with. I mean, every single chance that she had gotten. I mean, when Bullock was 16, when she was in her teens, 16 years old, when her grandmother had passed away, when she died. So she went to go back to live with her mom, her mother, Zelma, uh Carrie or Curry. Well, her mother's name was Zelma Curry. Yeah, so Bullock went to live with her mom, Zelma Curry, in St. Louis, Missouri. Even though Bullock had graduated from Summer High School in 1958. That was the end of May of 1958. After high school, well, Anna Anna Mae Bullock, who would have to be Tina Turner, is working as a nurse. Not a nurse, but she was working as a paraprofessional for the nurse, a nurse's aide, at a, I feel it was at a, what is this place? Oh, the Barnes Jewish Hospital. It's a hospital that was named the Barnes Jewish Hospital. There was a hospital that was located in the U.S. state of Missouri. That was one of the largest hospitals that was in the United States uh, state of Missouri. That was already located. That was already been at the Central West End neighborhood of St. Louis, Missouri. Well, this is what Tina Turner said in 1986. She said this, quote unquote, I would have been lost in my life at that point without him. I mean, I could do two things: work in a hospital, work in a hospital, or sing in Ike's band. I didn't know anything else or anyone else, and I wanted to sing. This came from the words of Anna Mae Bullock, aka uh, Tina Turner. Anywho, on to the origins. Bullock and her sister began to perform frequently at the nightclubs that was in St. Louis and East St. Louis, was Eastern St. Louis. She first saw a man named Ike Turner. This man, Ike Turner, I mean, rest in peace, perform with his band, the Kings of Rhythm, at the Club Manhattan in Eastern St. Louis. Bullock Bullock was impressed by his talent, recalling that she almost went into a trance watching him play. She asked Turner to let her sing in his band, despite the fact that few women had ever sung with him. Turner said he'd called her, but never did. One night in 1956, this was around the time when the Parliaments uh started their music career in that year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, George Clinton, Grady Thomas, uh, who was in the band, who was in the Parliaments, uh, Calvin Simon, Ray Thomas, who else was there, and Clarence Haskins. That needs to stop with the music, bro. But that one night in 1956, Bullock had gotten a hold of the microphone from the Kings of Rhythm drummer Eugene Washington during an intermission, and she sang the BB King blues ballad, "You Know I Love You." Upon her hearing her sing, Turner started asking her if she knew more songs. She sang the rest of the night and became featured vocalist with his band. During this period, he taught her the finer points of vocal control and performance. Bullock's first recording was in 1958 under the name Little Ann on the single Box Top. She is credited as a vocalist on the record, alongside Ike and fellow Kings of rhythm singer Colson Oliver. In 1960, man, almost got teary-eyed. Ike Turner wrote a Fool in Love" for a singer who goes by the name of Art Lassiter. Bullock was to sing background with Lassiter's backing vocalists was called the Artettes. That's named after Art Lassiter. Lassiter failed to show up for the recording session at Technisonic, at the Technisonic Studios that was in the early 60s. Since Turner had already paid for the studio time, Bullock suggested that she sing the lead. He decided to use uh, Bullock. He decided to use Bullock to record a demo with the intention of erasing her vocals, and adding Lassiter's at the later date. Local St. Louis DJ, a disc jockey by the name of David Dixon, Dave Dixon, who was an American DJ and program director for the St. Louis radio station. It was called Katz, Katz. Dave Dixon, he's a local DJ for the St. Louis radio station, has started convincing Turner to send the tape to Juggy Murray, who was let me tell you about this guy, Juggy Murray, the guy who was already there. Uh, Another person who was there. Let's see. Let's see about Juggy Murray. Yeah, Juggy Murray was a record label owner, producer, and singer songwriter who he had co-founded Sue Records. You know what I mean? Well, what Dave Dixon would do, he convinced Ike Turner to send the tape to a man named Juggy Murray. He sent the tape to Juggy Murray, who was a president and the president of an R&B label who goes by the name of Sue, who goes by the president of the label. Who was that? Who's that? I mean, the guy who co-founded the record label. Juggy Murray, who had to be a president of the he's like the president of the Sue Records R&B label. You know what I mean? The president of the R&B label Sue Records. Sue Records is a record label, an R&B record label that's been in the game until a Louisiana-based record company, uh, at which owned Jewel Records. That's a Louisiana-based record company. Know what I'm saying? Which have owned Jewel. It owned another company that was called Jewel. It's called Jewel Records. So that's another old. record company. So upon hearing the song, Murray was let me tell you about Murray, Juggy Murray, who was a Sue Records R&B label president and a co-founder, was so impressed with Bullock's vocals, with the vocals that came from Bullock, and he is later stating that, oh, Tina sounded like screaming dirt. It was a funky sound. It was a funky sound. Murray bought the track and paid Ike Turner a $25,000 advance for the recording and the publishing rights. The publishing rights. Uh, Murray was also convinced that Turner to make Bullock the star of the show. Turner responded by renaming her uh, quote unquote Tina because it rhymed with Sheena. He was inspired by Sheena, the Queen of the Jungle. It was like a comic book. It was a comic book. It's called Sheena. It was a queen. It was called Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. It was like a comic book that's been in the game ever since the 1940s. It was a fictional comic book. And another comic book that came out is called Nyoka, the Jungle Girl. Just to create, I'll tell you about this shit. I gotta go back to it. Not Tina Turner. Ike Turner was so inspired by two comic books that's been in the game ever since the 1940s. Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, and Nyoka, the Jungle Girl. Just to create the stage persona for Bullock. The Tina name was already it's already been used up, but he got inspired by these two comic books to create uh this stage persona that Anna Mae Bullock was known for as Tina Turner. But added his last name, but added the last name that Ike had, you know what I mean? It's been his family for years. And trademarked it. And that's what happens. He trademarked the name. Ike Turner, I'm gonna tell you about this thing. He added his last name and trademarking the name. He trademarked the name as a form of the protection, so that if Bullock left him like his previous singers had, he could replace her with another Tina Turner. It won't be, but family and friends are still called her Anne, the name she chose to go by as a teenager. As a teenager, the early success goes in between around the 1960s. Bullock was introduced to the public as Tina Turner with the single A Fool in Love" in July of 1960. It reached number 2 on the Hot R&B Sides chart and number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100. Journalist Kurt Loder, who used to work for MTV News, described the track as the blackest record to ever creep into the white pop charts since Ray Charles's gospel style. What I say, that previous summer, another single from the duo, "It's Gonna Work Out Fine." It reached number 14 on the Hot 100 and number 2 on the R&B chart in 1961, earning them a Grammy nomination for the best rock and roll performance. Other singles Ike and Tina released between 1960 and 1962 included the R&B hits "I Idolize You," "Poor Fool," and "Tra La 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 La." After the release of A Fool in Love, Ike created the Ike and Tina Turner Review, that kind of which included the Kings of Rhythm and a girl group is called the Ikettes. As backing vocalists and dancers, he remained in the background as the band leader in charge. Ike put the entire review through a rigorous touring schedule in the that was across the U.S., especially in the United States, performing 90 days straight in venues across the country, not across the country, but around the country during the days in the Chitlin circuit. The Chitlin circuit. The Ike and Tina Turner Review built a reputation as one of the hottest, most durable, and potentially most explosive of all R&B ensembles, rivaling the James Brown Review. The James Brown Review in terms of musical spectacle, due to their profitable performances, they were able to perform in front of the desegregated audiences in the southern clubs and hotels between 1963 and 1965. Yeah, that was between them. The names like the years like you've seen between 1963 and then 1965. The band, they toured constantly and produced moderately the successful R&B singles that they wanted to produce. Uh, Turner first credited single as a solo artist. A solo artist, was called "Too Many Ties That Bind." We need an understanding. Yeah, it's a song that's been there. It's called "Too Many Ties That Bind" slash "We Need an Understanding." It was released from Sonya Records. It was Ike Turner's label. That was in the 1960s. That was in 1964. But another single by the duo, "You Can't Miss Nothing," that you never had, reached number 29 on the Billboard R&B chart. After the tenure at Sue Records, the duo signed with more than 10 labels during the remainder of the decade, including Kent Senko, Tangerine, Pompeii, A&M, and Minute. In 1964, they signed to Warner Brothers Records. That's a company, that's a record label. That was all American to this day. Warner Brothers Records. And Robert Allen Krasnow became their manager. On the Warner Brothers label, they achieved their first charting album with Live, the Ike and Tina Turner show, peaking at number 8 on the Billboard, what's it, a Billboard Hot R&B LP chart. That was in early 1965. That was in February of that year. Their singles, Tell Her I'm Not Home" is where singles come from. It says "Tell Her I'm Not Home" is what's it? It says "Tell Her I'm Not Home." It was like a song that's there. Loma Records had probably released it though, along with "Goodbye So Long." That was released on another record label called Modern Records. They were like the top 40 R&B hits in 1965. But Turner's profile was raised after the several solo appearances that was on shows such as the old shows have been out ever since the 60s. It's called the American Bandstand and Shindig. Shindig. While the entire review appeared on I feel it's on an old show of it was called Hollywood. It's called Hollywood A Go Go. That was a LA based music variety show that ran in the syndication from uh from 1965, from like 1965 all the way to 1966. Well, Sam Riddle used to host that show. Back in the 60s, Sam Riddle used to be the host, but that show is gone. That was in I think that was in a television. It was a TV station. It was called KHJ TV. Moving on, in 1965, in 1965, music producer music producer who goes by the name of Phil Spector, rest in peace. Well, his real name was Harvey Specter. Uh, attended an Ike and Tina Turner show at a club that was on the Sunset Strip that was in California, and he invited those two to appear in a concert film. And the concert film is called The Big TNT Show. It was a concert film that was featuring the performances by numerous popular rock and roll and R&B musicians that was from the United States and the United Kingdom. The mainstream success would start to go there. We started to go here. Impressed by the duo's performance on the Big TNT show, Phil Spector was eager to produce Turner, working out a deal with Ike and Tina Turner's manager, Bob Krasnow, who was the head of Loma. Spector offered $20,000 for the creative control over the sessions that was to produce Turner and have them released from their contract with Loma. They signed to Spector's Phillies record label. I feel it's named Phillies. They signed to a record label. It's called Phillies. It was a record label that was owned by Phil Spector. It was owned by Phil Spector. It was in April of 1966, after Turner had already recorded with him. Their first single on his label is called River Deep Mountain High. It was released in May of that year, 1966. Spector considered that record with Turner's maximum energy, the maximum energy that Turner had, that was over the wall sound. The wall sound is to be the best work that he had done, his best work that's meant to be. It was successful overseas, reaching number 3 on the UK singles chart, on number 1 on the Lost 40 Principalities in Spain, but it failed to go any higher than number 88 on the Billboard Hot 100. The impact of the record gave Ike and Tina Turner an opening spot on the Rolling Stones UK tour in the fall of 1966. That was around September. In November of 1967, in the late 1960s, I think, I hope that was going to be something. In November of 1967, Turner became the first female artist and the first black artist to appear on the cover of the Rolling Stone magazine. The duo signed with Blue Thumb Records label in 1968, releasing the album Out of Season in 1969. The album produced their charted cover of I've Been Loving You Too Long. That was from Otis Redding. Otis Ray Redding Jr. I mean, I miss this guy. He probably had passed away. He probably passed away in 1967. He been dead since 1967. R.I.P. Otis Raymond Redding Jr. Later that year, they released The Hunter, the title track, Albert King's The Hunter. It earned Turner a Grammy nomination for the best female R&B vocal performance. No wonder why Anna Mae Bullock became Tina Turner. Uh, the success of the albums led to the review headlining in Las Vegas, where their shows were attended by a variety of celebrities, to name a few, including David Bowie. I was going to get the name. Uh, David Bowie. Let's get the name. Sly Stone, Janis Joplin. It's Janis Joplin. Cher. I kind of knew her from the movies. You know what I'm saying? But she was a singer. The late James Brown. The late James Joseph Brown. And the late Ray Charles Robinson Sr. And those that came in, they're still alive. Those one of those guys who was alive was Elton John. Let's see. Well, Hercules is his middle name. Sir Elton Hercules John. And the late Elvis Aaron Presley. May I say more? May I say more? As the decade came to an end abruptly, Ike and Tina Turner began performing at music festivals. Turner's fashion evolved from the formal dresses to the mini dresses and revealing outfits. She emerged as a sex symbol to she was already emerged and referred to, and She was praised for her sensual performances, but in the fall of 1969, well, that's what sex symbol meant. They're trying to do that anyway. It become an icon, or it could become an icon, or it's become a person of character, widely being considered sexually attractive, or and is often synonymous with sexuality. That's what a female would look like. But sorry, sorry, I'm not sexist. I'm not negative. See, I'm not. I already got a lot of respect for women. You know what I'm saying? That's all I do. But we're gonna move on from that. She will turn your ass on. But in the fall of 1969, that was in the fall of 1969. That was like way in September. The the uh, the profile of Ike and Tina Turner. Everybody else knows that Ike and Tina Turner's their profiles in their home country, was completely raised after the opening for the Rolling Stones band in their U.S. tour. They gained more exposure from the performances that they did on the Ed Sullivan Show here, Playboy After Dark, and the Andy Williams Show. Andy Williams used to host that show from the 60s to the 70s until it got canceled. The duo released two albums in 1970, Come Together and Working Together. Their cover of I Want to Take You Higher peaked at the number 34 on the Hot 100, whereas the original Slide the Family Stone had peaked at number 38. Number 38. The Come Together and Working Together albums marked a great turning point in their careers, in which they have switched from their usual R&B repertoire to incorporate more rock tunes, such as Come Together. That's what CT means. Come Together. It's called Come Together. The Honky Tonk Woman. That's what called Honky Tonk Woman. And it was Get Back. Until early 1971, their cover of the Creedence Clearwater, yeah, the CCR, the Creedence Clearwater Revival's Proud Mary became their biggest hit. The single reached number 4 on the Hot 100 and sold more than what, a million copies, winning them a Grammy for their best R&B performance by a duo or group, or group, group, group. Uh, in July of 1971, oh, that just it just this is right after February of that year. See their live album. The live album is called "What You Hear Is What You Get." It was released. It was released. So I don't know how it got released. I don't know. Even though it was recorded at the Carnegie Hall in the Carnegie Hall building. It was recorded at the Carnegie Hall building, and it became their first certified gold album later that year. That they had a top 40 R&B hit with the Upu Padu. Their next three singles to chart: "I'm Yours," "Use Me Anyway," "You Wanna," "Up in Here," and was it early one morning. That was like a little Richard cover. That was a cover that came from the late Little Richard Penniman. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. Uh, they all kind of started peaking. It peaked at number 47 on the R&B chart until 1972. The Turners opened Bullock, what's it what Bolic Bullock Sound recording studio near their home in Inglewood, California. After Liberty was absorbed into the United Artists Records label, that were assigned to that label around this time, Turner began working on something, writing more songs that she had wrote about 9 out of the 10 tracks on their 1972 albums called Feel Good. Let me pull this album out. Feel Good. It was a studio album that they had released around that year. But in October of 1972, Turner and the Ikettes performed at Star Spangled Women, a political fundraiser for the 1972 presidential campaign of George McGovern. This man right here, George McGovern. That was at the legendary. This the legendary building right there, the Madison Square Garden. That's MSG right there. That's New York. That was way in New York City, in NYC. The duo, their hit single that was in 1973 is called Nutbush City Limits. Well, Tina Turner, whose real name was Anna Bullock, used to move there with her family. You know what I'm saying? To get away from Brownsville. See, the single called Nutbush City Limits, that was a 1973 hit single that was recorded by Ike and Tina Turner. Uh, well, it was number 22 pop, number 11 R&B that was penned by Turner and is reaching number 1 in Austria, number 4 in the United Kingdom, and the top 5 other several other countries that was already been known for that song to be certified and being established and all that until it was. Let me tell you about the single. It was so certified sober by the what's it the BPI. That was for selling 250,000 in the United Kingdom. As a result, for their success, they received Golden European Record Award, the first was ever given, for selling more than at least 1 million records of the Nutbush City Limits song in Europe. Their follow-up hits included Sweet Rhode Island Red and Sexy Ida. That was in 1974. But till by that year, the duo released a Grammy-nominated album is called The Gospel According to Ike and Tina, which was nominated for the Best Gospel Performance. Ike also received, let me tell you about Ike. He also received a solo nomination for his single Father Alone. from the album, Turner's first solo album, Tina Turns the Country On, earned a nomination for the Best Vocal Performance Female. That year, Turner filmed the rock opera Tommy in London, England. She played the Acid Queen, a drug addicted prostitute. Her performance was critically acclaimed shortly after filming wrapped. Turner appeared on Anne Margaret's TV special following the release of Tommy. In 1975, another solo album by Turner was released, Acid Queen. The album reached number 39. It was number 39 on the Billboard R&B chart. It produced the charting singles "Baby was it Baby Gets It On." I was about to say "Let's Get It On" by Marvin Gaye. I don't want to get mixed up. That single that was charted in, it was called "Baby Gets It On." That was it's like a cover of uh and "Whole Lot of Love." That was a Led Zeppelin. It was a Led Zeppelin cover. "Whole Lot of Love." There's the split. There's the split right there. Yeah, Ike Turner had this very bad coke addiction. He had a very bad coke addiction. He was addicted to drugs, especially cocaine. By the mid 1970s, Ike Turner, a very talented singer that he was, you know, from back in the 1960s or whatever, uh, he was heavily addicted to cocaine, which have hindered his relationship with uh with Tina Turner. Which hindered his relationship with Tina Turner. There's just like happening that messed him up bad. But in 1976, when Ike was getting high on Big Ike was high on the cocaine, him and Tina, they headlined at the Waldorf Astoria, New York, and signed a television deal with CBS TV. He made plans to leave United Artists Records for a 5-year deal with Cream Records for $150,000 per year. The deal was to be signed on July 5th. On July 1st, the Turners flew from Los Angeles, California to Dallas, Texas, where the review had a gig at a was a Statler Hilton was a Statler Hilton in downtown. Uh, the couple got into a physical altercation en route to the hotel. Shortly after arriving, Ike had this drug problem for some reason. Must be the cocaine talking to him. Shortly after arriving, the battered and abused Tina Turner fled from Ike with only 36 cents left and remaining, and a mobile gas card that she ends up with, and later hid at the Ramada Inn that was across the freeway. Until she filed for divorce. She started filing for divorce from Ike on July 27th, and it was finalized on March the 29th. March of the 29th. Else was his wild last. Well, let me tell you about Ike. I mean, Tina had filed for divorce on July 27th, and it was finalized on March the 29th, 1978. After their separation, United Artists Records revealed, not revealed, United Artists released two more albums. They're releasing two more albums credited to the duo. Delilah's Power in 1977, that was in the late 1970s, and Airwaves in 1978. The solo career that was from 78, 76 to what's it, like 1976 to 82. I think Tina Turner wants to go on and do things herself. She wants to move on her own as a solo artist. And she want to go solo. From the 70s to the 80s, between 1976 and 1977, that was in between, Tina Turner earned income by appearing on TV shows. On the TV shows such as The Hollywood Squares, Donnie and Marie, The Sonny and Cher Show, The Sonny and Cher Show, the Brady Bunch Hour, the Brady Bunch Hour that was been out from between 1976 to 1977. After her separation from Ike, those lawsuits were mounting for the canceled Ike and Tina Turner gigs. She resumed touring to pay off her debts with finances given to her by United Artists executive Michael Stewart. Well, that's who he is. He's an American music executive. But in 1977, Turner reemerged with the new costumes that Bob Mackie had completely created. Uh, but she kind of headlined like a series of cabaret shows and things like that at the Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. And she had to take her. She started taking her act. She took her act to the smaller venues in the U.S. Later that year, she embarked on her first solo concert tour. Her first solo concert tour that was in Australia. Until 1978, Turner released her third solo album. Her third solo album that she had released is called Rough. Look at this. It's called Rough. That's her album cover. On United Artists Records, with the distribution in North America and Europe on a record label called EMI Records. It was a British multinational record label that was owned by Universal Music Group. Universal Music Group have owned that record label. They purchased it. That album, along with its 1979 follow-up, is called Love Explosion, which included a brief diversion to disco music. They failed to chart, so United Artists Records and Turner parted ways with them. Without the premise of a hit record, she continued performing. She continues to start performing and headlining her second tour. In 1979, Australian manager Roger Davies agreed. He agreed to manage Turner after seeing her perform at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco, California. In early 1979, Turner worked in Italy as a regular performer on the Rate One TV series Luna Park. It's hosted by Pippo Baldo and Heather Parisi. Later that year, she embarked on a controversial 5-week tour of South Africa during the apartheid regime. She later regretted the decision, stating that she was naive about the politics in South Africa at the time. In October of 1981, Rod Stewart attended Turner's show at the Ritz in New York and invited her to perform Hot Legs with him on Saturday Night Live. It was it's a sketch comedy show that's been out since the 70s. In November, Turner opened for the Rolling Stones during their 1981 American tour. That's what happened when Funkadelic decided to finish their final tour. 1982, 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988, 1989, 1990, 1991, 1992, 1993, 1994, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999 But Turner performed in March of 1982, in the Willem Ruiz show. It means Netherlands, which resulted in the hit "Shame, Shame, Shame," reaching number 47 in the Netherlands. In 1982, Turner's recording of "Ball and Confusion," that was a song that was performed by the Temptations, but that song was played in a Al Prophet documentary. They already got a hold of that song. They played it in the documentary. So it was for the UK production team. BEF became a hit in European dance clubs. In 1982, Turner also appeared on the album Music of Quality and Distinction Volume 1 by BEF, the side project of Heaven 17, singing Ball of Confusion. She filmed a music video for that song that aired on the fledgling music video channel MTV, becoming one of the first Black American artists to gain airtime on the channel. Also in 1982, Turner appeared as a special guest on Chuck Berry's television special performed as a TV specialist, performed the Roxy in West Hollywood. There's a career resurgence in superstardom here. There's a career resurgence and the superstardom that was between the 80s and the 2000s. Until 1983, Turner was considered a nostalgia act, performing mostly at hotel ballrooms and clubs in the US. During her second stint at the Ritz, she signed with Capitol Records in 1983. That's the same record label that George Clinton had gotten out of. George Clinton was signed to Capitol Records, even though he left the label. I think they could have just paid him. But in November of 1983, she released her cover of Al Green's "Let's Stay Together." It was a complete reminder of that song, which was produced by BEF. It reached several European charts, including number 6 in was it in the UK? Okay, in the US. Oh, the song peaked at number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the Hot Dance Club Songs, and number 3 on Hot Black Singles. Following the single's surprise success, Capitol Records approved a studio album. Turner had 2 weeks to record her Private Dancer album. It's called Private Dancer. Uh, which was released in May of 1984. It reached number 3 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 in the UK. Uh, Private Dancer. It was certified 5 times platinum in the US and it sold 10 million copies worldwide, becoming her most successful album to date. Also in May of 1984, Capitol issued the album's second single, "What's Love Got to Do with It." The song had previously been recorded by the pop group, what's the name, Bucks Fizz. That was these guys' names. Oh yeah, Bucks Fizz. It was like it started with 2 men, 2 women. It was an English pop group that's been in the game since the 80s. Following the album's release, Turner joined Lionel Richie. Okay, this is the singer right here, and songwriter, and record producer, and TV personality. That's Lionel Brockman Richie Jr. Well, she's the father of Nicole Richie. But Turner joined him as the opening act on on the tour that Lionel Richie had already done. On September 1st, 1984, few months after May, uh, Turner achieved, let me tell you about Turner. She achieved her first and only number one on the Billboard 100 with What's Love Got to Do with It. The follow-up singles Better Be Good to Me and Private Dancer were both US top 10 hits the same year she duetted with David Bowie. On the cover of Iggy Pop's Tonight, released as a single on November. It was like in November. It peaked at number 53 in both the UK and the US. Turner culminated her comeback. Let's go get turned into a film. Hold on for a minute. Let's go get turned into a motion picture. Bear with me, folks. Let's go take a long ride. Turner culminated her comeback when she won 3 Grammys at the 27th Annual Grammy Awards, including the Grammy Award for Record of the Year for the song What's Love Got to Do with It. In February of 1985, she embarked on her second world tour, the second world tour that she did to support the Private Dancer album. 2 nights were filmed in Birmingham, England, UK's NEC Arena, and later released as a concert on home video during this time. She also contributed vocals to the USA for Africa benefit song, We Are the World. I think Michael Jackson was already in that song too. And Michael Jackson was in it. Yeah, Quincy Jones was already produced the song. It was a charity single. Turner's success continued when she traveled to Australia to star opposite Mel Gibson in the 1985 post-apocalyptic film Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's Mel Gibson on the cover and Tina Turner. George Miller and George Ogilvy had directed this film. The movie provided her with her first acting role in 10 years. She portrayed this glamorous auntie entity, the ruler of Bartertown. Upon release, critical response to her performance was like jolly positive. The film was a global success, grossing more than $36 million in the US. Turner later received the NAACP Image Award for the Outstanding Actress for her role in the film. She recorded 2 songs that was for the film. We Don't Need Another Hero, Thunderdome, and One of the Living. Both became hits, with the latter winning her a Grammy Award for the Best Female Rock Vocal Performance. In July of 1985, Turner performed at the Live Aid alongside Mick Jagger. Remember this guy from the Rolling Stones? Sir Michael Philip Jagger. Their performance shocked the observers. Their performance kind of took the show by storm. It started shocking people, especially the observers. When Jagger ripped her skirt off, Turner's skirt off live on stage, Turner released a duet, "It's Only Love," with Brian Guy Adams, who was a Canadian musician, singer, and songwriter, and record producer. And he's a bit of a photographer. He's a photographer too. It was nominated. It was not. It was nominated for some sort of a Grammy award for a Grammy award. In the music video, won an MTV Video Music Award, a VMA for the best stage performance until in 1986. It's going to take longer than this. In 1986, Turner released her sixth solo album, Break Every Rule. It's called Break Every Rule, which reached #1 in 4 countries and sold over 5 million copies worldwide within its first year of release. The album sold more than a million copies in the US and Germany alone by themselves. The album featured the singles Typical Male, Two People, What You Get Is What You See, and the Grammy winning Back Where You Started. Back Where You Started. Prior to the album's release, Turner published her autobiography, I, Tina, which became a bestseller. That year, she received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her Break Every Rule World Tour, which began in March of 1987 in Munich, Germany. What else? What it was? It was the third highest grossing tour by a female artist in North America that year. In January of 1988, Turner performed. Let me tell you about Turner. Turner performed in front of approximately 180,000 at the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, setting a Guinness World Record at the time for the largest paying concert attendance for a solo artist. In April of 1988, Turner released the Tina Live in Europe. It was the album. It was the album. Which won a Grammy. It was a Grammy award. That was for the best female rock vocal performance that she had already won back in the 80s. After taking time off, the end of the tour, she emerged with the Foreign Affair album that was in 1989. It reached #1. It started reaching #1 in 8 countries, including in the UK. There was 5 times platinum. Her first #1 album there. The album sold over 6 million copies worldwide. It was worldwide now, and that was worldwide back then in the 80s, and it's including the international hit single. It's called The Best. It means you're simply the best. I think it came from Bonnie Tyler. I think Bonnie Tyler did a song called "I Need a Hero." She did a song called "The Best." But in 1990, Turner embarked. Turner started. Let me tell you, Tina Turner, Anna Bullock started embarking on her Foreign Affair European tour, which kind of drew nearly 4 million spectators, breaking the record for a European tour that was previously set by the Rolling Stones. In October of 1991, Turner released her first greatest hits compilation, Simply the Best. That means simply the best, better than all the rest. It which sold 7 million copies worldwide. The album is her biggest seller in the UK, where it's certified 8 times platinum with more than 2 million copies sold. This is what Turner is reflecting to on her European success. That was from Larry King Live in 1997. She said this: "Private Dancer was the beginning of my success in England and basically Europe. has been very supportive of my music. I am as not I am not as big as Madonna in the United States. I'm as big as Madonna in Europe. I'm as big as in some places in Europe as the Rolling Stones. That's Tina Turner reflecting on her European success on Larry King Live. That was courtesy of CNN. R.I.P. Larry King. In 1991, Ike and Tina Turner were both inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as an R&B duo. Ike Turner, he went to jail probably for some drug addiction. He went to jail because of drug possession or something. He was incarcerated at the time, and Tina Turner did not attend. Turner stated that through her publicist that she was taking a leave of absence. She was taking a leave of absence. An absence. She was taking a leave of absence following her tour, and then she felt emotionally unequipped to return to the United States, the U.S., and responding to the night of the celebration in the manner that she would possibly want. Phil Spector, who was who happened to be a producer, who's no longer with us now, accepted the award on the behalf of Ike Turner and Tina Turner. In 1993, the semi-autobiographical film it was it was based on the song "What's Love Got to Do with It." It was named after a song. Well, it was so released at that time. It was like in '93, and the film starred it starred the two people that was already in this movie. Angela Bassett. Well, I knew about her from the Boys in the Hood movie. You know what I mean? She played as Troy Styles' mother, but she played as Tina Turner, uh, whose real name was Anna Mae Bullock, and Lawrence Fishburne, who played as Ike Turner. It's Lawrence Fishburne, Lawrence Larry Fishburne, the third. He played as Ike Turner, the late Ike Turner. They both received Best Actress and Best Actor uh duo. The Oscar nominations that was for their portrayals and their roles. While she was not heavily involved in the film, Turner contributed to the soundtrack for What's Love Got to Do with It, re-recording old songs and several new songs. The single is called "I Don't Wanna Fight." It's from the soundtrack. It was like a top 10 hit in the U.S. and UK in 1993. By the same year, Turner Turner embarked on her "What's Love Got to Do with It" tour, uh, which visited primarily North America with a few shows in Australasia and Europe. In 1995, Turner returned to the studio after she was done with the movie with Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne and them. She released Golden Eye in 1995. I'll tell you about Tina Turner in a minute. She returned to the studio by releasing Golden Eye. Bono had written the song. In the Edge, they both written the Golden Eye song. Bono and Edge of U2, they written the song. That was for the Golden Eye film. It was a James Bond film, Golden Eye. Uh, and then year after, 1996, 1996, Turner would start releasing an album is called The Wildest Dreams. Wildest Dreams. It was accompanied by a tour that was named after Wildest Dreams. That album was accompanied by the tour that she had done. It's called the Wildest Dreams tour. Until a couple years later, in September of 1999, before celebrating her 60th birthday, Tina Turner released a dance infused song, "When the Heartache Is Over." When the Heartache is Over, as the leading single from her 10th and studio, her 10th and final album, was like a solo album. 24/7. The success of the single and the following tour helped the album become certified gold by the RIAA. The 24/7 tour was the highest grossing tour of 2000, grossing over $120 million. Her two concerts at Wembley Stadium in England were recorded by the director David Mallet. Well, I don't get this the names. Victor Mark, David Victor Mark Mallet. Oh shit, this guy was like a British director of music videos and concert films. But in the 1980s, he was one of the most prolific directors of the music videos that was being the game in the 80s. And released in the DVD is called One Last Time Live in Concert at the July 2000 concert in Zurich, Switzerland. I feel it was in Switzerland. Uh, one of the towns in there was called Zurich. It's called Zurich, I think. It was in Switzerland. Turner announced, Tina Turner, she announced that she would retire at the end of the tour that she was going to do at a concert. Around early 2000s over to early 2020s. In 2004, Turner released All the Best, which debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 in 2005, her highest charting album in the US. The album went platinum in the US 3 months after its release, and it's reaching platinum status. It's reaching platinum status. 7 other countries, including the UK, in December of that year. Turner was recognized by the Kennedy Center Honors and the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. That's named after John F. Kennedy. Uh, that was in Washington. That was in Washington D.C. and was elected to join an elite group of entertainers, including, I don't know who these elite group of entertainers are. I don't even ask and I don't even tell. In February of 2006, Turner released Teach Me Again, a duet single with Italian singer-songwriter who goes by the name of Elisa Toffoli. That was recorded for the anthology film All the Invisible Children. The whole revenue from the single sales was donated to charity projects for the children, led by the WFP, the World Food Program, and UNICEF. Turner made a public comeback in around February of 2008 at the Grammy Awards. It was at the Grammy Awards. She That's what she performed alongside Beyonce Knowles Carter. In addition, she won a Grammy as a featured artist on the River, the Joni Letters. Uh, it's called River, Joni Letters. That was in October of 2008. Turner embarked on her first tour. I wish she was embarking. She was embarking on that first tour that she had did in nearly 10 years with the Tina 50th anniversary tour. It's a 50-year anniversary tour. Uh, in support of the tour, Turner released a greatest hits compilation. It was like an essentials album. A greatest hits compilation. It was like an essentials type album. The tour was a huge success and it became one of the best-selling tours of all time. In 2009, Turner officially retired from performing. That's good. Turner can go back and do other things. And she can co-found a global music foundation called Beyond Foundation with Swiss Christian musician Regula Curti and Swiss Tibetan Buddhist by the name of Dechen Shak Dagse. Turner co-released 4 albums of spiritual and or what uplifting music released through projects with Beyond, Buddhist, and Christian prayers. Children, Love Within, and Awakening. As of this year, the Swiss Beyond Foundation remains ACTIVE active, and enables the collaboration of the musical artists from different parts of the world. In April of 2010, mainly due to an online campaign by fans of Rangers Football Club, that's RFC, Turner's 1989 hit The Best returned to UK singles chart, peaking at number 9. This made Turner the first female recording artist in the UK chart history to score top 40 hits in 6 consecutive decades, 1960s and 1960s and 2010s alone. In 2011, Beyond's second album, Children, with Children United in Prayer, followed and charted again in Switzerland. Turner promoted the album by performing on TV shows in Germany and Switzerland. In April of 2013, Turner appeared on the cover of the German issue of Vogue magazine. At the age of 73, becoming the oldest person to be featured on the cover of Vogue. In early 2014, Polophone Records, that's another record label I've never even heard of. Polophone Records, that was a trademark, released a new compilation titled Love Songs. And that's what he's gonna show you. Wow, Love Songs. This was show you. It's Tina Turner it's Tina on the cover. Now she's sitting there on the chair. It was like a director's chair. By December 2016, Turner announced that she had been working on Tina, a musical based on her life story, in collaboration with Felita Lloyd and Stage Entertainment. The show opened at the Aldwych Theatre in London in April of 2018 with Adrienne Warren. There's Adrienne Warren right here. I think I've seen her on. I think I've seen like who she was. She was on this reggaeton. She was this reggaeton musical and all that shit. she's hot. But she's hot. Look at this woman. She high as hell. She high as hell, bro. In the lead role, Adrienne Warren reprised her role on Broadway in the fall of 2019. On 2019, this is long before this bullshit, this all this mass hysteria and COVID-19 and all this bullshit. Uh, in 2020, Turner received the 2018 Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, the GLAA, in her second memoir, My Love Story. It was released in October 2018, but in 2020 she came out of retirement to collaborate with a Norwegian producer who goes by the name of Kygo on a remix of a classic song, What's Love Got to Do with It. With this release, she became the first artist to have a top 40 hit in consecutive decades in the United Kingdom. In 2020, this is during the COVID-19 pandemic, Turner released her third book. Her very third book is called Happiness Becomes You. It's called Happiness Becomes You, a guide to changing your life for good. She co-wrote the book with an American author by name of Terrell Gold. Terrell Gold. Craig Terrell Gold. And Swiss singer Regular Curti. It was chosen by Amazon's editors as a best nonfiction book of 2020. In 2021, Turner appeared in a documentary film is called Tina. Dan Lindsay and T.J. Martin had directed this documentary film. Until Turner sold her music rights to BMG Rights Management in 2021. It was in October of 2021. That was over 2 years ago. That's months after this. 2 months after my aunt had passed away. That's where. That's why Turner sold her music rights to BMG Rights Management for an estimated $50 million, with Warner Music still handling the distribution of the music that she's been working on for decades. Later that month, Turner was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the RRHOF, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was as a solo artist by herself, and accepting her award via satellite from her home near Zurich, Switzerland. That's where she died, in that house. As her personal life emerges, while still in Brownsville, Turner fell in love with for the first time with Harry Taylor. They met at a high school basketball game. Taylor initially attended a different school, but he relocated. By I don't know why this I mentioned, but he kind of relocated to be near her. But in 1986, she told Rolling Stone that Harry was real popular and had tons of girlfriends. But eventually I got him. And we went steady for a year. The relationship ended after she discovered that Taylor had married another girl he married, and who was expecting his child. After moving to St. Louis, Turner and her sister Eileen became acquainted with Ike Turner's Kings of Rhythm band. Aline was dating the band's drummer. The band's drummer. She had dated Eugene Washington, who was like the drummer for Kings of Rhythm. And Bullock began dating the saxophonist named Raymond Hill. This Raymond Hill, let me show you about this guy. Let me push this picture. Raymond Earl Hill, who was a American tenor saxophonist and singer. He was in Ike Turner's band. You know what I'm saying? After Turner became pregnant during her senior year of high school, she moved in with Hill. She moved in with Raymond Hill, who he had lived with Ike Turner. She recalled, "I didn't love him as much." That's what she said. This she recalled saying this. "I didn't love him as much as I love Harry, but he was good looking. I thought my baby's going to be beautiful." That's quote unquote. The relationship the relationship kind of ended after Hill broke his ankle during a wrestling match with Kings of Rhythm singer Carlson Oliver. You got to do a wrestling match with the singer who not healthy. Hill he returned to his hometown that we call Clarksdale before their son Craig was even born in the summer of 1958. It was August of 1958. That was around the summer. After leaving Turner to become a single parent, this is Ike Turner and and Tina Turner. When they were heading to the Amsterdam airport, Schiphol. I was say Schiphol, Amsterdam airport, Amsterdam airport, Schiphol. They arrived there in the early 70s. That I feel it's an old picture. That's an old picture. So, but Ike Turner. Let me explain about this guy. Turner, like in her early relationship, Tina Turner, she her early relationship with Ike Turner to that of a brother and sister from another lifetime. They were platonic friends from the time they met in 1956 until 1960. Their affair began while Ike was with his living girlfriend. I think it was Lorraine Taylor. They became intimate when she went to sleep with him after another musician threatened to go into her room. After recording A Fool in Love in 1960, a pregnant Turner told Ike that she did not want to continue their relationship. He responded by striking her in the head with a wooden shoe stretcher. A wooden shoe stretcher. Turner recalled that this incident was the first time he instilled fear in her, but she decided to stay with him. She decided to stay with him before around the time she really did care about him. After the birth of their son Ronnie in October of 1960, they moved to Los Angeles in 1962 and married in Tijuana, Mexico. In 1963, Ike purchased a house in the Buell Park area. They brought their son Ronnie, uh, Turner's son Craig, and Ike's two sons. That was with Lorraine, Ike Jr. and Michael. That was from St. Louis to live with them, to start living with them. She later revealed in like what is it, I Tina, that Ike was abusive and promiscuous throughout her marriage, which led to her suicide attempt in 1968 on overdosing on Valium pills. She said she said it was my relationship with Ike that made me most unhappy at first. I really had been in love with him. I had really been in love with him. Look what he done to me. But he was totally unpredictable. Later on, in his old age, Ike was diagnosed with a bipolar disorder. But by the mid 1970s, Ike was heavily addicted to cocaine, which hindered his relationship with Turner. She abruptly left Ike after they got into a bloody fight on their way to the Dallas Statler Hilton. All that shit was already been seen in the movie. On July 1st, 1976, she fled with only 36 cents and a mobile credit card in her pocket to the nearby Ramada Inn across the freeway on July 27th. On July 27th, Turner filed for divorce on the grounds of irreconcilable differences. Her divorce petition asked for $4,000 a month in alimony, $1,000 a month in child support, and custody of her sons Craig and Ronnie. The divorce was completely finalized on March 29th of 1978. I just read this shit from the top. The in the final divorce in the final divorce decree, Turner took responsibility for misconstrued dates as well as an IRS lien. Uh, Turner retained songwriter royalties from the songs that she had written, but Ike got the publishing royalties for his compositions and hers. She also kept her two Jaguars, furs, jewelry, everything. She kept her two Jaguars, furs, jewelry. It's only jewels, like jewelry, and her stage name. She kept it. Turner gave Ike her share of their Bullock sound recording studio, publishing companies, and real estate. And he kept four of his vehicles, his cars. Several promoters have lost money and sued to recoup their losses. For almost 2 years, she received food stamps and played small clubs to pay off debts. Ike Turner stated on several occasions that he was never officially married to Turner because he was legally married to another woman at the time of their ceremony. However, they had a common law marriage and still had to go through a formal divorce. He also stated that her birth name was Martha Nell Bullock, not Anna Mae Bullock. She signed her legal name as Martha Nell Turner on multiple contracts. In his autobiography, look at this thing. In his autobiography, Taking Back My Name, Ike Turner stated, "Sure, I've slapped Tina. We had fights, and there have been times when I punched her to the ground without thinking, but I never beat her." In a 1999 interview on the Roseanne show, Roseanne Barr urged Ike to publicly apologize to Turner. In 2007, Ike told Jet Magazine, that's what Ike was telling. He told Jet Magazine, there's a magazine, it's called Hollywood Jungle Girl. There's this chick sporting a bra, that he still loved her. And he had written a letter by apologizing for putting her and the kids through that kind of stuff. But he never sent it. After his death in December. Oh no, it was on there. After her death, or now I forgot. It was all before Tina Turner. After his death on December 12th, 2007, December 12th, 2007, Ike Turner issued a brief statement that was in the time of his untimely passing. It was through uh, a spokesperson. It says this: after his death on December 12, 2007, Turner issued a brief statement through her spokesperson. Tina hasn't had any contact with Ike in more than 30 years. No further comment will be made. Turner's sister Aline still considered Ike her brother-in-law and attended his funeral. Sure, she attended Ike. She attended Ike's funeral. Uh, Phil Spector, rest in peace, criticized Tina Turner at the funeral where Ike was laid to rest at. Turner told the Sunday Times newspaper in 2018 that as an old person, I have forgiven him, but I would not work with him. He asked for one more tour with me, and I said no, absolutely not. Ike wasn't someone you could forgive and allow him back in. Erwin Bach, who was a German music executive that 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 Turner had met, that Tina Turner had met, who was sent by a European record label, EMI, uh, at Dusseldorf Airport. That's where I forgot, was it Dusseldorf or Dusseldorf or Dusseldorf? That's what it's called. Dusseldorf Airport. Bach was over 16 years her junior. Initially friends, they began dating later that year in July of 2013. In July of 2013, after a 27-year romantic relationship, they married at a West in a what civil ceremony on the banks of what's it Lake Zurich in Kuznacht, Switzerland. It's Kuznacht. Was it Kusnacht? Kuznacht. Yeah, it's Kuznacht, Switzerland. The children. Let me explain that. Turner had two biological sons. She had two sons biologically. One with Raymond Hill, who was a saxophonist for Kings of Rhythm. His name Raymond Craig, born on August 20th, 1958, and the other with Ike Turner, Ronnie, was it uh Ronald Rennell Turner. Uh, they call him Ronnie. They call him Ronnie. Born on October the 27th, 1960. 1960. She adopted two of Ike Turner's children, raising them raising them as her own. Turner was 18 years of age when she gave birth to her eldest son. Her eldest son, Ike Turner, adopted Raymond Craig Hill and changed his name to Craig Raymond Turner. Craig was found dead. Yeah, Craig was found dead. Yeah, I will tell you about what's this Raymond Craig. Yeah, that yeah, it was yeah. Craig was found dead in an apparent suicide in what 2018. Turner's younger son, Ronald Rennell Turner, Ronnie, played bass guitar in a band called Manufactured Funk with songwriter and musician Patrick Moulton. Ronnie also played for both his parents' bands. Through him, Turner had two grandkids, two grandchildren. He was married to uh Afita Turner. He was married to Afita Turner, who was it Afita Turner, who was a French singer. Ronnie died from complications of colon cancer in December of last year. During Turner's divorce trial, Ike sent their four sons to live with Tina and gave her money for 1 month's rent. Ike Ike Turner Jr. Working as a sound engineer at Bullock Sound. Was it Bollic Bullock Sound? Uh, that's what his name, Bullock Sound. And briefly, for Turner, after her divorce, later winning a Grammy Award for producing his father's album Rising with the Blues. What's his name? Rising with the Blues. But he toured with the former Ikette, Randy Love, is Sweet Randy Love, and the Love Thang band. What's the name? What's the band's name? Love Thang. Ike Turner Jr. stated that he and his brothers have a distant relationship with their mother Tina. Their mother Tina. Turner had written in her autobiography. It's called I Tina. After her divorce, she became a little bit estranged estranged from all of her sons, except Craig. But back in 1989, Turner told TV Week that she's still there for the boys. She's still there for the boys. But there had been reports of Turner's estrangement from her sons in the years before her death. Religious beliefs. Oh fuck. This is getting too long. I'll rest this shit now. Turner sometimes Turner sometimes referred to herself as a Buddhist Baptist, alluding to her upbringing in the Baptist church where her father was a deacon, and her later conversion to Buddhism as an adult. In a 2016 interview with Lions Roar magazine, she declared, "I considered myself a Buddhist." In the February 15, 1979 issue of the Jet magazine featured Turner with her Buddhist altar on the cover. Turner credited the liturgy of Nichiren Daishonin and Soka Gakkai International for her introduction in spiritual knowledge. Turner stated in her 1986 autobiography, I Tina, her autobiography, I Tina, that she was introduced to Nichiren Buddhism by Ike Turner's friend Valerie Bishop, who taught her the chant of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. That's he taught her the chant. Did she taught her the chant of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo? Yeah, in the 1973. Turner later stated in her 2020 spiritual memoir, it's called "Happiness Becomes You," that her son Ronnie Turner first suggested that she might benefit from chanting that Nam Myoho Renge Kyo type shit. That's that chant. That's that chant. Uh, Turner practiced Buddhism with her neighborhood Soka Gakkai international chanting group. After chanting, Turner noticed positive changes in her life, which that she attributed her newfound spiritual practice, that she said that I realized that I had within me everyone I needed to change my life for the better. During the hardest times of her life, Turner chanted 4 hours per day, and although in later life she no longer chanted as much, she still maintained a daily practice. Turner started liking the Buddhist chanting to singing. She told the Lions Roar the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. It's a song in the Soka Gakkai tradition. We are taught how to sing it. It is a sound in the rhythm, and it touches a place inside you. That place we try to reach is the subconscious mind. I believe that it is the highest place, and if you communicate with it, that is when you receive information on what you do and what to do. Dramatizations of Turner chanting were included both in the 1994, the 1993 film What's Love Got to Do with It? What's Love Got to Do with It? The 1993 film, and the 2021 documentary film Tina. Until Turner met with the 14th Dalai Lama in in Iceland, was it was it Einsiedeln, Switzerland, on August 2nd, 2005. She also met with Swiss Tibetan Buddhist singer Dechen Shak Dagse. That was it. Dechen Shak Dagse. Was it? What's her name? Dechen Dechen Shak Dagse. Oh, that's the name. And in 2009, co-created a spiritual music project with Shak Dagse and Swiss singer Regula Curti called Beyond. All the wealth. Turner began living. Oh, it's gonna be a concise 2 hours. Hang on to your seats. Turner began living at Chateau Algonquin in Kusnacht, on the shore of Lake Zurich in 1994. She previously owned property in Cologne, London, and Los Angeles, and a villa on the French Riviera named the Anna Fleur. The Anna Fleur. In 2013, Turner applied for was it Swiss citizenship. She wanted to be a Swiss citizen. She applied for that Swiss citizenship, stating that she would relinquish her U.S. citizenship. The stated reasons for the relinquishment, was the that's what's said here. The stated reasons for the relinquishment were that she no longer had any strong ties to the United States, and she has no plans to reside there in the future. There in the future, in April, she undertook a mandatory citizenship test, which included advanced knowledge of German, the official language of the canton of Zurich, and the Swiss history and of the Swiss history on April the 22nd, 2013. She became a citizen of Switzerland, the state of Switzerland. It was like a home country, and was issued a Swiss passport. Turner signed Turner signed the paperwork to relinquish her American citizenship at the U.S. Embassy in Bern on October 24th, 2013. Turner's wealth was estimated at 225 million in Swiss francs, about United States $250 million in last year, in by like a year, by the Swiss business magazine called Balance. It's called Balance. The illness and death. Turner revealed that in her 2018 memoir of a love story that she had multiple life-threatening illnesses. She had high blood pressure since 1978, which have remained mostly untreated and resulted in damage to her kidneys, and eventual kidney failure. In 2013, that 3 weeks after her wedding to Erwin Bach, she had a stroke. She had a stroke and needed to learn to walk, again. In 2016, she was diagnosed with intestinal cancer. While she attempted to treat her health problems with homeopathy, they worsened. Her chances of receiving a kidney transplant were considered were co or was it? Oh yeah, her chances of receiving a kidney transplant were considered low, and she was urged to start dialysis. She signed up with an organization that facilitates assisted suicide, a procedure which is legal in Switzerland. Becoming a member of Exit International, however, her husband offered to donate a kidney for transplant. She accepted his donation and had kidney transplant surgery on April the 7th, 2017. Turner also openly discussed her feeling of shame after discovering that she had dyslexia. In that part, it will be too late for her to stay alive. She wouldn't be able to live long. It sucks. That poor woman won't be able to live long anymore. She's turning 84 now. She turned about what, 84 now. But until she died at her house in Kusnacht, Switzerland, at the age of 83, following years of illness, Turner's body was also cremated after a private funeral. That's how she died at her house in Switzerland at the age of 83. Following those years of illness, until they had to cremate her body after a private funeral proceeding. But in the aftermath of her death, many of the fellow artists that have already mourned her loss, including Beyonce Knowles Carter, Mariah Carey, Janelle Monáe, Amir Thompson, Peter Townshend, Diana Ross, who was an American singer and actress, country legend Dolly Parton. That's right, country music legend Dolly Parton. I came home with her book. Debbie Harry, who was known for being in the band called Blondie. Uh, Gloria Gaynor, Brian Guy Adams, James Barnes, Peter Andre, Kerry Katona, Lionel Brockman Ritchie Jr., Sir Elton Hercules, Sir Elton Hercules John, Madonna, Rod Stewart, Cher, Lizzo, Brittany Howard, Sir Michael Philip Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood and Ronald Wood. Patti LaBelle, you know, she's like an American R&B singer. Wanted to pay tribute to Tina Turner. What a rendition of the song called "The Best" at this year's BET Awards show. Turner also received tributes by model Naomi Campbell, as well as film and TV figures such as Oprah Winfrey, Angela Bassett, Jennifer Lewis, Forrest Whitaker, Forrest Whitaker, and Bette Midler, and theater producer Joop van den Ende. U.S. President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., as well as former presidents Barack Hussein Obama Jr. and William Clinton. Listen, what name? Yes, I'm gonna go find the name. Bill Clinton, I think, and Swiss President Alain Berset also paid tribute to Turner through public statements. And King Charles III paid tribute by allowing the best to be performed during the changing of the guard, the junior common room of St. Cuthbert's Society, St. Cuthbert's Society, College of Durham University granted Turner honorary afterlife membership. The musical legacy and accolades that's been seen, often referred to as the queen of rock and roll. Turner is considered one of the greatest singers of all time. She was noted for her swagger, sensuality, gravely vocals, and unstoppable energy, along with her career longevity and her famous legs. Journalist Kurt Loder asserted that Turner's voice combined the emotional force of the great blues singers before her with a sheer wallpaper peeling power that seemed made to order for the age of the amplification. Daphne A. Brooks, a scholar of African American studies, wrote for The Guardian. Turner merged sound and movement at a critical turning point in rock history, navigating and reflecting back the technological what's it? Yeah, a critical turning point in rock history, navigating what's it? And reflecting back the technological innovations of a new pop music era in the 1960s and the 1970s. She catapulted herself. She catapulted herself to the forefront of a musical revolution that had long marginalized and overlooked the pioneering contributions of African American women, and then remade herself again at an age when most pop musicians were hitting the oldie circuit. Turner's musical character, let me explain this to you. Turner's musical character has always been a charged combination of mystery as well as light, melancholy mixed with a ferocious vitality that often flirted with the danger. There's all the stuff that she was doing. There's honors, awards, achievements, and all that. There's Donna Grierson and Tina Turner. Turner previously held a Guinness World Record, GWR, if you will, for the largest paying audience for a solo performer, in the UK. Turner was the first artist to have a top 40 hit in seven consecutive decades. That she has a total of 35 UK to around top 40 hits. She sold over 100 million records worldwide, according to the certified RIAA album sales of 10 million as of May of this year. As of May of this year, Turner has reportedly sold around 100 million, 100 to 150 million records worldwide. Turner won a total of 12 Grammy Awards. It's 12 Grammys that she had won. These awards including 8 competitive Grammys. She shared the record with those that stood with her, Pat Benatar and Sheryl Crow. That was with this too. For the most awards that could be given, like for the best female rock vocal performance, 3 of her recordings, River Deep, Mountain High, uh, Proud Mary, What's Love Got to Do with It, it was redone. Uh, or in the Grammy Hall of Fame, Turner is the only female artist to have won a Grammy in the pop, rock, and R&B fields. Turner had received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Awards, a GLAA. In 2018, Turner had also won Grammys as a member of the USA for Africa and as a performer at the at Prince's Trust concert that was in 1986. Turner received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in that same year, and a star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame in '91. After her passing, her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was covered with flowers from the loving fans around the world paid respect with the flowers and candles lit outside her home in Switzerland and outside London's Aldwych Theatre. The home of the musical Tina, Gloria Gaynor, said Turner paved the way for so many women in rock music. Black and White, Turner was also praised by Mariah Carey and Oprah Winfrey. Uh, the Queen of Christmas and in the daytime talk show legend. So, as a survivor who overcame the years of the domestic abuse, the Obamas, Michelle Barack, praised her for they praised Tina for singing her truth by joy and pain. Through joy and pain, the charity Women's Aid paid tribute with a quote from one of Turner's songs by saying she will always simply be the best. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a duo with Ike Turner in '91. In 2005, Turner received a prestigious Kennedy Center honors. Former President George W. Bush commented on her natural skill, the natural skill, the energy, the sensuality, and referred to her legs as the most famous in show business. Several artists paid tribute to her that night, including Melissa Etheridge, performing that song, River Deep, Mountain High. Queen Latifah, whose birthday I had to go do a live show based on, performing that song, What's Love Got to Do with It? That was a song that Tina Turner had sung and wrote. Beyonce Knowles Carter performing one of Tina's songs, Proud Mary, Rolling Down the River, and Al Green performing Let's Stay Together. Oprah Winfrey. Let me explain to you about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey. She's like the queen of daytime talk. She stated that we don't need another hero. We need more heroines like you, Tina. You make me proud to spell my name WOMAN. In over 2 years, Turner was inducted by the actress who played her, Angela Bassett, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a solo artist. Keith Urban and HER. Well, she was working with Oprah, Danielle Brooks, and Fantasia Barrino. I brought home that magazine. They got all four of them on the cover of that fucking book. Yes, those people who did these songs, it was Keith Urban. Let me show you. Keith Urban and HER. Well, that's Gabriella Sarmiento Wilson. She was on the cover of the Ebony magazine alongside Oprah Winfrey, Fantasia Barrino, and Danielle Brooks. Danielle Brooks. They fixed to bring back the color purple. Okay. They performed. They performed "It's Only Love." It's Only Love. Mickey Guyton performed "What's Love Got to Do with It," and Christina Aguilera performed "River Deep, Mountain High." Well, look at all the shit that she did. Look at this. Look at all the following honors that that Tina Turner's been receiving from back in the days, the late '60s. She was the first black artist and a first female on the cover of a Rolling Stone magazine. 1993, the WMA, they presented Turner with a Legend Award. The same year that Essence Awards have honored her with the Living Legend Award. 1996, Turner received the accolade of Legend, the HONNEUR, Legion d'Honneur. Actually, no, that's why it says the Legion d'Honneur. That was like in French. That was from the French education minister. That's what she received the accolade of. 1999, Turner started ranking number 2 on VH1's list of 100 greatest women of rock and roll. In 2002, TSR, Tennessee State Route 19, between Brownsville and Nutbush, was named Tina Turner Highway. That was in her honor. In 2003, it was 2003 here. Rolling Stone ranked Proud Mary the best of Ike and Tina Turner, number 212 on their list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. That was like the number 214 on the 2012 revised list. So in 2004, people ranking her as the 1985 performance of What's Love Got to Do with It as one of the top 10 Grammy moments in history. 2008, Rolling Stone ranking Turner number 17 on their list of the 100 greatest singers of all time. 2009, Time ranking her 1985 performance of What's Love Got to Do with It as one of the top 10 Grammy moments. Same there. Same as People. Rolling Stone ranking Turner number 63 on their list of the 100 greatest artists of all time. Yeah. 23rd, that's 2010 and all that. When and in 2013, Turner covered Vogue Germany, becoming the oldest person, to cover the cover Vogue magazine, surpassing Meryl Streep. Yep, it surpasses this woman, Meryl Streep. Everybody knew her before Mamma Mia. She was on this. She was in this movie Mamma Mia, and I didn't know who she was in Mamma Mia, but I didn't know. But in 2012, I think she surpassed Meryl Streep. But in 2014, Turner was inducted into the Soul Music Hall of Fame. In 2015, Rolling Stone started ranking Ike and Tina Turner number 2 on their list of the 20 greatest duos of all time. That's history. That's besides Ashford and Simpson. Around the same year, Ike and Tina Turner were inducted into the St. Louis Classic Rock Hall of Fame. 2016, an image of Turner taken by Jack Robinson in 1969 was used as the cover for the last Shadow Puppets album, Everything You Come to Expect. It's called Everything You Come to Expect. That's what came from their last Shadow Puppets album. In 2019, the Memphis Music Hall of Fame inducted Tina Turner. In 2020, Private Dancer was added to the National Recording Registry at the Library of Congress. Until 2021, she became a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer like twice. Okay, just twice. She was a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee just twice, just by twice, like 2 times. Until same year, she was receiving the honorary doctorate for her unique musical and artistic life's work from the Philosophical and Historical Faculty of the University of Bern. University of Bern. Until last year, Mattel released a Barbie doll in Turner's likeness to commemorate her single, What's Love Got to Do with It? And then this year, Rolling Stone is ranking her number 55 on their list on the 200 greatest singles of all time. It's all her discographies, and it's all her discography, her studio albums, the tours that she's been on, the films that she's been on, yeah, the books that came out. This is a waste of time. I don't know why it happened. Let me go get up there. Let me get my ass up there, shit. Yeah. Well, we gotta stay tuned for a look at Tina Turner. By the end of the stream, see you on the next video. It's called a look at Tina Turner. See you in the next video. See you in the next video, man. I'm about to finish this up, and then we'll do another video.